Hello, welcome to the Library Orientation for English 1101. This video is meant to assist you with your argumentative research essay. We will discuss the research plan, types of sources, evaluation of sources, locating sources, search techniques, and MLA citation. Before we get started, let me introduce myself. My name is Natalie Edwards. I'm a librarian at Middle Georgia State University. I'm available to assist you with this or any other research assignment by phone, email, or in person. We are also available to help you through our library chat, available on our website. This is a chat service available during library hours. Later in the presentation, there is a tour of the library website. The research plan is a loose plan to follow in your research journey. The first step is to develop a topic, followed by locating sources, evaluating sources, organizing information for your argument, and citing sources. Today we are focusing on locating and evaluating sources. There are many different source types. Most can be boiled down to popular or scholarly. Popular sources are created with the intent to entertain readers. They are often written by journalists who are not experts in that field, and they are easily found online and on newsstands. They often do not cite their sources. Scholarly sources are written to educate readers. They are written by experts in that discipline. Some scholarly articles go through peer review. This is a rigorous process where they are evaluated by other experts and often edited prior to publication. Your assignment requires you to find peer-reviewed articles. I'll show you how to narrow your results to only peer-reviewed articles during our search demo. Now that you know what you're looking for, let's talk about evaluating your sources to make sure they are reputable and support your topic. The evaluation method we are using is the 5 W's. When you're researching, look for the following. Who wrote the article? Are they qualified? In the author section of the paper, you can see a list of authors and other contributors. They'll often have degrees listed with the name. If you aren't sure, you can always Google the author to see what else they may have written. What is the purpose of the source? The purpose of a research article should be to educate the reader. This is not a popular source which is meant to entertain readers. Many research articles list the thesis or purpose early in the paper. Where was it published? There's a big difference between self-publishing and a peer-reviewed journal. If you do not recognize the publisher, do a little background research to make sure they are reputable. You can do this by Googling the journal title or publisher. When was the source published? It is important to make sure the research you are using is up to date and still relevant. And finally, why? Why is this source useful? Ask yourself if it adds anything to your argument. If the answer is no, trash it. Galileo is a tool we'll use to search for our articles. Galileo is a virtual library where you can access all of our databases and search for scholarly articles. When you search in Galileo, it's important to know that you need to break your topic up to searchable terms. Galileo is not able to understand full sentences. If your search term consists of 2 or more words, enclose it in quotes. This lets Galileo know that you want to keep those terms in that order. If my topic were solar power is a cleaner, more cost-effective option for renewable energy in developing countries, I might break my topic into the following terms: solar power, sustainable energy, cost-effective, renewable energy, and developing countries. You notice that I added an extra term, sustainable energy, which wasn't used in my topic. This is a synonym I could use to expand my search. Now that we know what terms we want to use, we use Boolean operators to tell Galileo how these terms relate to one another. When you use AND between search terms, Galileo will give you results that include both terms. For instance, solar power and renewable energy, if we search for both of those, we will receive results that have both terms. Sometimes you may want to use synonyms. While one writer might use one term to describe something, another might prefer another term. In our example, we would search for sustainable energy or renewable energy. Using or will expand our results since the sources only need to have one of the terms, not both. Not will return results that exclude the search term following not. This is helpful if your search results are irrelevant and seem to have a theme. Remember to ask a librarian if you have difficulties finding the sources you need. It is important to cite your sources. You need to give credit, avoid plagiarism, allow readers to locate your sources, and you're demonstrating that you're building on and interacting with other scholars. You should cite when you quote, summarize, or paraphrase someone's words, ideas, or creations. And you'll cite both in text when you reference your sources and in your Works Cited page. If you need help citing, I recommend Outpurdue's MLA Style Guide. A quick Google search will take you to it. You also have an MGA citation research guide. You can find it in the research guides on our library website. MGA librarians are also able to help you with your citations. Just ask. Now, let's start researching. From the Middle Georgia State University website, you can get to the library page from two different places. If you hover over Academics, you can find it under the Resources tab right here. The second place you can find it is if you click on the Quick Links, 3 lines right here on the right corner. You can find it right here as well. On the library page, you can see a link to Galileo. You can see a link to our research guides. And if we scroll down further, you can book a research appointment with a librarian here. We are available on every campus and online as well. If you scroll further down, you'll find our hours. Right now, it's spring break when this is being filmed, so we definitely have better hours than this. So keep a check on there. Like I mentioned before, the library chat, you can find that here as well, right next to the hours. If the library is open, the MGA library chat should be open. You don't have to fill out all of this information if you don't want to. You're welcome to just put your question in the chat and click Start Chatting. So now let's go to Galileo. We're going to go back to the top and click on Find Articles Galileo. Here on the Galileo homepage, you'll see that you have 2 different ways to search. You have the bento search, which is going to arrange everything in boxes according to the source type. This will be great for us since we're looking for peer-reviewed journals. And the other option is a classic search. This is going to arrange your results in a list form by relevance. But let's stick with the bento search. Let's do a search for solar power and developing countries. You've noticed I'm using search quotes as well as our Boolean operator AND. And as you see, the source type that we need will be right here, peer-reviewed articles. So I'm going to click on that box. If you do need to narrow your results by publication date, you can find that here on the left underneath all the other limiters. One other limiter that you may find helpful is the full text only, available under the search bar. We're going to click that and then click search again. That is going to weed out any articles that we don't have full access to. Let's take a look at this first article. Everything you need to cite this source can be found here on this page. We have the authors, we have the publisher, the database, and any other information we might find helpful. Here you'll see the abstract. This is going to be a summary of the article, and it can help you decide early on whether or not the article is going to assist in your argument or not. Now there is one option that you might find helpful when citing. That is this citation tool found in the top right here. It's little quote icons. So using this drop down, we can change the style to MLA, which is what you need for this assignment. These are not 100% correct all the time. You always want to double check it. Citations are easy points to keep, but they're also easy points to lose. So double check it. I can see one error already in this works cited. It thinks that the database is EBSCOhost. But if we go back to the information page, we'll see that it actually came from Advanced Placement Source. So that is one thing that you would need to fix in that citation. You can access the article using these access options right here. You can read online or PDF. It's always a very good idea to save a copy of your article somewhere else. If you leave the tabs open on your computer, they may refresh later on and time out, and then you would lose the article. I always suggest downloading the article. This tool right here, download, will help you with that. You can also share or save the article. So when we click on that, you'll see that you have the option to save it to the cloud, whether you use Google Drive or OneDrive. You can also email the article to yourself. This is very helpful so that you always have access to it, even if you don't have access to your computer or possibly a flash drive that you may have saved the articles on. Before we end our presentation, I want to remind you of a few things. Firstly, ask a librarian if you find yourself lost or struggling to find sources or cite your sources. Keep a list of what search terms worked and what did not. This will save you a lot of trouble if you have to redo your search in any way. Save copies of your sources. This will save you from having to track them back down should anything get lost. And again, check your citations for errors. When we looked at an article earlier, we found that the pre-made citation from Galileo was incorrect. So always double check that. Again, citations are easy points to keep and they're easy points to lose. Thank you so much for attending this presentation. Again, ask a librarian should you need anything. Have a great day.